Hi families, today I'm going to be talking to you about an activity that I will be sending home with your students to do with you in a literacy bag. So in this bag there will be a couple different things to help you do this activity at home with your students to help build their literacy skills as well as social emotional learning and fine motor skills. So in this bag, there will be this really awesome book called Can I Be Your Dog? It is a Swedish story about a stray dog who writes letters to the people in his neighborhood asking them if he could be their dog. It is so sweet and so awesome. So you'll start out by reading this book with your student, and then there will be a couple follow-up activities to do with that to help build their literacy skills. So the first thing you're going to want to do is tell them that now that we've read the book, we're going to let you adopt a pet. Now, adopt a pet. So they're going to be using a stuffy that they have, or if you need a stuffy, please let me know and I can send one home with the student. But I have my stuffy here today that I'm going to be adopting. His name is Bennett. And so the first activity that I'm going to do is I'm going to make a spot in my house for Bennett, a place for him to sleep, for me to keep his food, and to keep all of his things. So gather some pillows, blankets, maybe some toys that Bennett could play with, a food bowl, things like that a dog or a cat or any other animal that your student might be adopting would need. You're gonna help them kind of make a little spot where their pet can sleep in their room or the living room, somewhere that he or she or whatever kind of pet they choose can stay. This is to help them build their social emotional skills, gaining empathy and thinking about the needs of others, even if it is just a pet. Now, the next activity we're going to do is we're going to make a collar for the pet. So, in the literacy bag, there will be some beads like this, pony beads, colored ones, and there will also be some letter beads and either some string or ribbon, things like that to make the collar out of. Now, your student is going to be practicing fine motor skills, so being able to string beads on like this and also spelling when they write their name. And then what they can do is they string this together and then they can put it on their pet. And then the last activity that we have that they're going to be doing is they're going to be writing a letter to their pet. And this letter is a lot like the one that the little dog in the book, Arfie, wrote to his owners or potential owners and trying to convince them to let him be their pet. So this copy will be in the bag for you of a letter template. And what you'll have your student do is they're going to write at the top, it already says dear, and then they're just going to fill in their pet's name. And then I want them to write 2 reasons why they would be a good owner. So we are focusing in first grade on making complete sentences. So really want them to work on that. And if they need your support, they can have it. But try to help them to just do what they can on their own and do their best when it comes to spelling. Now, we do focus in first grade on making complete sentences, so starting with the capital, using finger spaces so we can read our words, and using punctuation at the end. But mostly I want them to just try to come up with 2 different reasons why they would be a good pet owner, and after they're done writing their letter, they should sign their name at the bottom and read it to their pet, because we know that reading our own writing helps us become better readers, better writers, and it just reinforces that. So yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know.